Welcome to Commander Pop Culture, a place to gather magical information with some laughs, might I add.
Hello everyone, so you want to build Vivi? Well, I have a list for you. I call it because, well, the nature of Storm players, they don't know they're going to win until they win. And it's kind of like gambling, so...
You're a gambling man.
Felt like a fitting title for the deck list. If you don't know what he does, you, for 0 mana, can activate him to add blue and or red, where X is his power. Activate only during your turn and once a turn. It has limitations, but whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you put a counter on it, and it does 1 damage to each opponent. The reason why Vivi is super good is Storm lists are typically puzzle piece decks where you need multiple things to go right for it to work, and that's they need card advantage, they need mana, and they need a win condition. And Vivi fulfills 2 of those roles on its own, so the win condition and the mana. So that means we get to play Storm on easy mode and just draw cards, and that's all we need to do to win. So we're going to talk about those pieces real quick. Archmage draws us every time we cast an instant or sorcery. Same with Archmage runes, but it also is a coupon. Exalter Flamer. I like it because it's another win condition. It triggers when we cast instant sorceries, but it also returns them to our hand. It's random.
I'm a gambling man by nature.
But it's free card advantage. Who doesn't like that? Kirsten Star. Now this is one of our fun accelerants of the game. When we deal 1 damage from our commander, it gets increased to 3 damage because Kirsten cares that we deal 1 damage. It adds an additional 2 every time we ping our opponents. Super good. Harmonic Prodigy, our commander is a wizard, so it will trigger Vivi twice. We'll put on double the counters, we'll deal double the damage. For 2 mana, it's pretty hard to beat. Ojur, we deal damage up to the difference. So Ojur is a 4/4. Instead of dealing 1 damage to our opponents, we deal 4 damage per spell we cast.
Lots and lots of damage.
It's super scary. Tandem Lookout, we draw cards every time Vivi does damage. Urabrask. I kept this in here. You could make an argument to include Bergy too, but like, don't need additional of those effects or mana. Vivi covers that base for us. The reason why he's in here is the Saga side. Gives us the ability to cast instants and sorceries from our graveyard. And there's not a lot of those. There's only 3 in the game that do that, including this version of Urabrask. But what can it hurt? We're dealing bonus damage and getting mana. I guess the nice part about Urabrask is it could string our turn long enough before we need to activate Vivi and cash in, if that makes sense. Baron just doubles our triggered abilities from Vivi. Transignition, this is our big haymaker win spells. Hopefully Vivi's really big when you cast this, and then you just fireball people to death without paying an expensive amount of mana like Fireball, but very effective at what it does. It's like hand built for this commander, and it's only $3. Very cheap. We get these kinds of fun cantripping effects where we make our commander evasive so we can do commander damage. It's like our plan B of our deck. And it draws us a card too. Epic Experiment, just a big haymaker spell. Looking for more things to cast. Finale of Revolution. This is pretty fun. Makes it so we have no max hand size if we pump 10 or more into it, which isn't hard to do. I only included 1 of these effects. Like, I really thought hard about Pull for Tomorrow or Blue Sun Zenith, but if you think I'm crazy for not including them, that's understandable. Throw them in if you'd like. You make enough mana to draw a lot of cards from these X draw effects. I like this because we get to untap our lands, so we get to cast spells beyond the cards we draw.
What more?
Which could be the difference between winning and losing. Free spells, there's nothing more efficient. We don't care how much it costs, we just care if it draws us a card. And we will shoot ourselves for 2 every single time. Alien Gyre, it's a board wipe. We only run a handful. We're only running ones that keep our commander in play so we don't lose the progress we made, and it keeps the rest of the board in check. This is a big pump and dump kind of spell. Like, we plot it and we just let it sit until we become empty-handed, or we have a big turn where we cast several spells and we just cash it on this whenever we feel like it to draw a ton of cards. Normally this is like, I would like to think of this as the spell that wins you the game. Between this, the final chapter of Urabrask, and Past in Flames effects, those are going to be your game-ending effects. And Mystic's Mastery, this is going to be almost exclusively used to overload. If you have to do it for just 4 mana, then you must be in dire straits, but this is a win condition. You have a fat graveyard with a lot of instants and sorceries, you cast it overloaded, and then you just get them all again, and that should win you the game. Like Slip Through the Space, another cantripping spell that makes our commander evasive. Will It Just Guy, this is another Pass in Flames effect, but we could get a bonus effect of ditching our hand and seeing 5 cards. Flame Manor is perfect. Our commander's a wizard, so we get 2 effects. Most of the time we're just probably blowing something up and drawing 2 cards. And if 2 things need to die, then that's an option too. We got Leap in here because our commander flying and we draw a card. Something to talk about are actually mana rocks. They lend themselves perfectly to Vivi because it will trigger Vivi, deal the damage, and put the counter on. What's not to love? Just like feeds into itself because you could use that mana to, play more spells from these rocks. Protecting our commander is very important, so we have Nurk Stealth Suit, we have Champion's Helm, we have Lightning Greaves. What's nice about these effects or equipments, Vivi also lends himself to equipment list nicely because you could use that mana from the activation for anything, including equip costs. Ozolus, so when our commander dies, we don't lose all the progress we made with our counters.
I just got out of jail and I ain't going back!
I don't run a lot of coupon effects. I run this one because it's card advantage once we solve the case. I made the same argument with the Giant from earlier, Archmage of Runes. Like, you truthfully don't need any coupons in this list. The list is so efficient that it's just colored pips that you have to pay for. So like, there's not a real reason to be running a lot of coupon effects. The average CMC of this list is 1.46, so you are low to the ground and ready to clown. Cloud of Dominus, protect your commander, gives a stat increase. Curiosity is another like Ophidian Eye and Tandem Lookout effect. We draw cards every time he pings people, so we'll draw 3 cards. Sigil Sleep, I got to showcase this with the Y'shtola list. It feels so good. We bounce 3 things and keep the board empty. Berkshire Courage, you have to be kind of careful with this. I've come close to killing myself by exiling my library. Once you combine it with your damage amplifier like Ojur and Gearson,
Blast off.
literally playing with fire, so be careful. You might be forced to kill off your own creatures to prevent yourself from murdering yourself. Really easy to talk about because majority of our spells just draws cards. This is the $100 budget. Now Vivi is $47. It's not something we could avoid. I didn't want to be playing a $50 deck that's like being house poor. So this is, I guess, is more for those that like get them in a pack and have no idea what to do with them because they weren't expecting them pulling a $50 card. But we're going to talk about the unique stuff. I leaned in more into the Gutter Snipe effects. We're less efficient at amplifying the damage, so we'll just make more damage. Faithless Looting, card selection, and you have to do it again. Things with flashback are super good. So far, I'm not seeing too much variation. My list is already cheap. I guess we cut out a lot of expensive lands too. We get to play Lava Dart. It's basically 1 mana for 2 spells, and that equates to 2 damage to each opponent. 6 in total, and 2 +1/+1 counters for 1 mana. Feels pretty good. Fiery Inscription. This is just another Gutter Snipe, but it's an enchantment. Yeah, that's really it. Easy deck tech, if you ask me. Things were cheap already from the previous list. Basically a $100 deck, if you don't count Vivi. Maybe I'll revisit this and play with a house poor list where we spend half our budget on just our commander and see if we can pull it off. I mean, it's possible. That would just mean we can't play with anything that costs more than, is that 50 cents? right? 99 cards cut in half. I think it's doable. The majority of these, we kind of already pulled that off. That's the end of the tech and the end of the list. I hope you like a quick video.
You strike me as a gambling man.
I think the most important piece of advice is just the puzzle piece advice. He solves 2 of those problems for you. You just need to fill the deck with card advantage, and you will be set. The game plan's simple. Win with chip damage. Second win condition is getting Vivi so big that you could one-shot people with commander damage. If you liked what you heard, I've done a lot of deck techs for Final Fantasy. This is the 6th list of 8 that I plan on doing. If you go to my channel on YouTube, it's Commander Pop Culture. You can check out the other 5 lists I've done, and you can see the order that I intend on playing all these lists. I'm streaming every day for the next 8 days at 9 p.m. We did Y'shtola on the 10th. We're going to do Kefka tomorrow on the 11th. And then based on the voting, Vivi reached the 3rd spot. So that's partially why I was motivated to make this deck tech and post it. I hope you enjoyed. Everyone take care now. Bye.